Welcome back to episode 198 of the God and Gun podcast. I'm your host, Troy.
And I'm your other host, Doug.
We use this podcast to talk about God, guns, and the responsible Christian gun owner's interest. On this week's show, we'll be talking about where we've both been for the last month, or a little bit more than a month, I guess, a month and a few days here. So we want to thank a bandwidth sponsor, Firms Radio Network, and also we need to
Crossbreed holsters.
Crossbreed holsters. If you're not wearing a crossbreed holster, you're wrong.
You are wrong. The most comfortable holster that you can put on and wear.
Yep. I've been wearing the same one since they gave me one about, I guess it was February last year. And it's been comfortable, and I wore it every single day. I think, is there a day I did not wear it? There was a day in Florida I wore a pocket holster because I was going to the beach. But outside of that, every single day I worn my Glock 19 and Crossbreed Super Tuck Deluxe with that new, what's the new Founder series?
The Founders.
The Founders? Okay.
Yep.
Yep. And
that's what I've been wearing too for my 19.
It is comfortable. Man, you just forget it's there, other than the fact that you know you're armed every day. I also want to remember Patriot Patch Company. This came in the mail while I was gone to Florida taking care of some of my parents.
Stay Frosty.
Stay Frosty. It's the patch and the sticker.
I need to talk to Jake about making me some stickers.
Yeah. Get you some stickers and dead ducks on them and stuff.
Yeah.
But now they do our patches for us as well. They do a great job, and you get join the Patch of the Month club. And my son has said, I want the Patch of the Month club because I like the patches, and you always want to keep the cool ones, and you just give me the ones you don't like. All right, dude, jump up the change, you get it. So this Gunner's gonna be signing up soon. Speaking of which, he just turned 17 yesterday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, he is. I don't see him as 17. He still seems like he's about like 5. In my mind, I'm like, he can't be 17. He can't be that old yet. First, I got a 26 and 18, soon to be 19, and my youngest daughter, she just turned 12. I'm like, gosh, man, these kids are growing up too fast.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, this week's God and Gun activities, Doug, what have you been up to?
Let's see. What have I been up to? The God side, of course, I've been doing my devotionals. I've been doing my Sportsman's Daily Devotional. I left my book here for Words from Jesus for Men when I've been out in Arkansas, so I didn't have it with me. So I got some catching up to do on that one. But I'll get it knocked out. Of course, everyday carry. Woo, almost had a bad streak, man. December the 21st, my concealed carry permit ran out, and I realized it on December 22nd that it had expired. So jumped in the truck, took myself to the probate court, and because I was getting ready to head back out of town going to Arkansas again, and I got it all signed up. The girl re-registered me, got me all signed up, done. I paid my re-enrollment fee. She didn't charge me for the full one. And I said, that's going to be bad. I said, it's not going to be in time for me to go to Arkansas with it. She said, no problem. She said, just make sure you got your old permit on you and keep this piece of paper where it says you paid your renewal fee and you'll be good. I'm like, I don't know about that now. So I didn't quite trust that. And I'm not going to say that I did or did not have a gun on me when I was traveling, but when I came back a few days later after that trip, my permit was waiting on me. Plus, Wendy had sent me a copy of my new permit when it came in, so I'd have it on my phone just in case I got pulled over. And so I got that all taken care of. I couldn't believe I let it lapse and forgot about it. Just didn't even think about it. But I got that squared away, so I'm all good there. I also saw when I got my new permit that we are reciprocal with South Carolina now, which we had not been forever. So that's a good thing now. So now I don't have to worry about going through South Carolina because they wanted us to unload your gun. You got to separate your ammo from your gun, all that stuff. Not so much. I'm kind of like Ted Nugent, never been in a gun free zone.
Mhm.
There is no such thing if I'm there, I guess. But it was pretty cool. I got it all taken care of, um, and got that done. So what else have I been doing? I've been in Arkansas shooting ducks, and we have been having a blast, man. It's been a lot of fun, and that's that's pretty much it for me. I got one more trip left, going down. I actually had a doctor hunt with me this past weekend,
Mhm.
and if you can tell by my voice, I am getting over being sick. He told me he actually rode out there with us and rode back. He told me, he said, well, he said, you need to go straight to the doctor when you get back. Tell me you need a chest x-ray and this, and you need some medication. I was like, hey, you're a doc. You got your prescription pad with you? Just sign me up, coach. Just give me some stuff. He just started laughing. He wouldn't do it. But I did go to the med stop yesterday morning, and I had bronchitis and I don't know, a couple other things. So he gave me all kinds of medicines. So I feel better. My voice hadn't quite returned the way it should be yet, but in the morning I sounded kind of like a little Barry White going on. But other than that, it's not too bad.
Singing love songs to Wendy, are
Mm. Well, I haven't seen her that much since I've been home.
you?
She has been helping with all these new grandbabies I got. Um, on January the 1st, Miss Amelia decided she showed up, and I missed it because I was in Arkansas duck hunting.
Uh-oh.
So my daughter Tiffany now has her second baby. All good. Mama and baby are both doing fine. And I got to see her, I don't know, 7 days after she was born, I guess.
Well, in all honesty, you told her, like 8 months ago or so. Yeah. Well,
Man, I told
you
them when
got
they
to
was
have that
kids.
baby within this date here and here, or
I,
you weren't going to be there. And so it's her fault.
it is. I mean, I've told them. I told them all. You get married, have babies, and all that stuff in the month of June and July. There's nothing in season, and there's nothing to hunt, so you're good to go. So that's when you have weddings and births and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't plan a birth during the middle of duck season. Come
What's
on.
wrong with these people? I tell you.
But she's a sport model now. She's a little cutie.
Yeah, you got a couple of cuties there. Good deal. Well, on my side, that was all yours.
That's it for me.
Church security. I finally got finished the church security plan. It was approved. It was presented to the team. I did the training. Everything's behind me except for radio programming. So I had that finished up. Did church security Sunday. It was small crowd because it was a lot of bad weather, snow, ice, and the parking lot was a big slick ice everywhere kind of thing. But everything went well and all that. So going back 4 weeks that we haven't talked online here in front of everybody. I was sick for 2 weeks of that. Uh, I took the kids to Disney because we hadn't been in since like 14. They wanted to see the light shows and uh, which they don't have now. the the Christmas light show at one of the parks we was going to go to. Well, I was sick the whole time. I didn't get to go to anything. I stayed in the condo and coughed my head off and blew my nose and
Mm.
slept most of the time I was down there. And so I pretty much just drove them down there and drove them back home. And they all had a good time. And so that was a week I was out. I didn't take a computer. I didn't take anything. I was just going to spend time with the kids. So that was one week we're out. The following week I was still sick as all get out. You were gone duck hunting. And we um, the following week I was still sick. You were still duck hunting. And then we had Christmas. See, that was the after Christmas week, and we had family, lots of family events and places to
I
go.
was still duck hunting.
And he was still duck hunting. And then after that, I went and took my parents or my father, drove my father back to Florida with his van. He's got a van that allows him to put his little hover around scooter in. And so we drove that back to Florida, took him back to Florida. That was a good trip. Just me and him together for a couple of days on the road, which we haven't done in many years, and had good conversations and just laughed about old times and things like that. So it was a good opportunity to catch up with him and enjoy some just alone time with him. And then my mom and grandmother flew in um, when we got there, and I picked them up from the airport, and I helped get them up and going. They came home up to Kentucky to have Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they almost stayed too long, and they started freezing up and getting sick and stuff, and so we had to get them back to Florida before they turned into icebergs up here. So that was about another week and a half of travel and helping them get up and established, then driving back. Got to stop by and see you and have dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Doug is a great host. I tell you, he cooks a great steak and bacon wrapped asparagus and baked potatoes, and man, I tell you, it's better than a lot of restaurants I've eaten at.
Well, thank you. And then had a stogie after dinner on the
Yeah,
back on the smoking porch.
yeah, we had half of it before and half of it after.
Yeah.
It was a great time, and then he put me up, man. I tell you, he could open a bed and breakfast. Well, I guess we have a dinner and bed.
Yeah. I'm not much on the breakfast side. I can cook you some or fix you some coffee.
Yeah,
But
yeah, coffee the next morning. Yeah. But Doug and Wendy hosted me and was very gracious to let me stay there. So it was good catching up with you since you've been in a duck blind for the better part of 3 months or something.
I know it feels like it, man. I can't believe it's almost over.
No, yeah, won't be long. So shots next week, and I'm I'm don't know that I'm going. I'm I'm sorry, 40-60, and I'm not going to tell you which way that is. I'm back going next week. So on the gun side, that would be shot show. I am going to go to, was it the North American up in Pennsylvania, Great American.
Great
I
American Outdoor Show.
went to that last year. It was a great time. Took Daphne with me, and so I plan to go back to that. I met up with a lot of our good buddies and hung out with our friends at Crossbreed up there, and met a lot of our listeners up there too. There's a lot of our listeners that met up with us at the Great American. So if you're planning to go to the Great American, I'm going to try to firm up what dates I'm going to be there. Maybe we could have a meet and greet at the crossbreed booth again. I've not been used to talking on the radio for a while or on the microphone for a while, so
Hey,
my tongue.
so what's the deal with shot, man? Are they sticking to that thing where you're not going to be able to carry it shot this year?
Well, apparently it's been in the rule books, but they're starting to enforce it. A lot of the casinos have now put in metal detectors coming in, and so to get into, if you come in certain ways to shot, you go through the casinos, and so the chances of getting booted out and your badge pulled because you carry is greater now than it was in the past. A lot of the guys have been going for years are just like, oh, forget it, I'm going to carry anyway. Don't worry about it. And but I'm like, I'm not driving for 3 days one way to get booted out of the shot show and get my badge pulled. So I'm just a little bit miffed about the fact that they would go and use a venue where you cannot carry a gun for the you know largest gun show in the world. Um, it seems a little bit stupid, backwards, and ridiculous for the National Shooting Sports Federation Foundation, whatever.
That's like saying you can't carry it to NRA convention.
Well, yeah, and they've tried that at places, but the NRA's like, no, we're going to be carrying. Our people will be carrying there, so you're going to have to change that. They for a while there were sorry kowtowing to that. But most everyone I've been to since 2009, you could carry it. So I'm assuming you can carry everyone going forward. This year's going to be in Dallas, so I know we can carry it there. But I think it's in Dallas this year, isn't it?
Is it Dallas or Houston?
And there was in Houston last time. I think it's in Dallas this time.
Dallas, maybe. Maybe it's Dallas.
Yeah, a little bit shorter drive for me, but not much. We'll meet at Arkansas somewhere and ride together. All
I
right,
may have to fly out to that one.
you gonna fly?
I may.
It's about 12 hours for me driving. I don't fly.
Is it?
Yeah. Let's see. I drove to Houston. It was 13 and a half hours. I took the back roads. Of course, I've got a little bit of a heavy foot, so I drove it straight. I didn't stop. I
Well, I
did
don't know.
stop. I take that
But,
back. I stopped at Duck Commander.
oh, did you?
Yeah. Let's see. Not very long, only half an hour. Got back in the car. Went nobody there, but gift store.
I don't know. I may have to. I may have to ponder driving. I don't know.
I take too much armament to fly anymore. Two pistols, a rifle, some other
Well,
things,
that's true.
and then the ammunition to go with it for a good sized fight. So, but oh well. So that was that, and on the God side, that was all of it. Gun side, I haven't done really anything on the gun side except for just clean. I cleaned my Glock 19 when I got back, and I'm cleaning my 26 because of lint and human stuff that comes off of you and gets on your guns when you carry every day. And then I've been studying for my ham. I'm going to take my technical and my general license test on March 3rd. So if I pass my technical, I can go ahead and take the general at the same time and get both licenses. And I've encouraged Gunner to join me in that so he can get his license as well. And what else is going on? That's pretty much it. EDC carrying the Glock 19, usual stuff. Share fire light, Glock 26 backup, instead of the guns, enhanced lifesaver, bullet plugger kit, and other usual stuff listed here if you guys want to read about that. What you carrying today?
I have my Glock 19 on. It is not in my crossbreed holster at the moment. It's just in a little paddle holster currently because I just got a pair of jean shorts on and I don't have my crossbreed holster belt on. So nothing to attach to.
Nothing to attach to. Did you smoke those other two stogies I left with you?
I have not yet, but I'm going to. Right after you left, I left.
Oh yeah, you left the afternoon after I left.
Yeah, I went. I went that afternoon and left to go to Arkansas, and I just got back Sunday night, and I was. I thought about smoking one last night, but I just didn't feel like it. I was sick.
No, not when you're sick.
No.
I left out of your house. It was 5 o'clock, 5:15, something like that. Trying to get through Atlanta before it got bad, and I still got stuck in traffic. Of course, it was pouring down rain.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I mean it was just a deluge, and so you get all those semi trucks rolling through there in that rain. You can't see 30 feet in front of you. All you see is a glow of red lights, and you try not to get hit by people that are driving 3 times your speed, zigzagging through the traffic.
We
That's up there, man.
it had rained and snowed in Arkansas while I was down there, so my truck was. I didn't have a black truck when I got home the other day. It was kind of a nasty brown color. The entire thing was brown everywhere, and we went to lunch today at work, and we were right up next to Goo Goo Car Wash. I don't know if you know what that is or not. I don't know if y'all have them up there or not. It's a car wash place, and I pulled up in line. I paid my $18 for the full service car wash, and when I pulled up, there's two folks there with the little hand brush. They brush the front, brush the back, and send you through the line. Man, they got it looked like a fire hose out was hosing me down, hosing out from all the fender wells and stuff. I bet I sat there for 10 minutes while they hosed the truck down just so I could go through the car wash. I know they was hating me. I know they was.
uh, hey, that's what you get paid the bigger bucks for, right?
That's right, man.
They gotta be used to
I
that.
can almost see it now.
They gotta be used to that red clay in Georgia, man. They gotta be used to that mud.
They they do get some red clay, but I don't think they was quite accustomed to what I had on mine. It's it's hard. Plus it had ice and stuff. Yet last night, when I came in on Sunday night, it was cold here, and all day Monday, all the ice and stuff I had up underneath the fender wells and bumper and everything else was still on there.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually didn't fall off until yesterday about midday when we got back home because the doc sent me home and told me not to go back to work yesterday, which that hurt my feelings. So I came back home, took my medicine. He gave me some cough medicine that's got codeine in it. So
Slept
um,
good.
I did sleep a little bit, so it felt good. But I got that silly CPAP machine now, which I have kind of grown kind of fond of. And the sad thing is, my I got that head cold, so my nose has been stopped up, so I can't wear it because I can't breathe through my nose.
Right.
So
It's
you know,
miserable.
when, Wendy stayed over at Tiffany's house last night, so I didn't wear it last night, and so I know I was rocking the shingles on the roof probably, but
Dogs had the
yeah,
paws over their ears that night.
yeah. Neither one of the dogs got out of bed. It wasn't bothering them too bad, I guess, because they slept with me last night.
You got a joke for us?
I do got a joke. Speaking of dogs, uh, this joke is called the forgetful dog. Dog walked into a butcher shop, and the butcher asked, "What do you want?" So the dog points at a steak in the glass case. "How many pounds?" The dog barks twice. "Anything else?" said the butcher. The dog points at the pork chops and barks 4 times. So the butcher wraps up a 2 pound steak and 4 pork chops, places them in a bag in the dog's mouth. And then he takes money from a little purse that was tied around the dog's neck. And then he sees him out. A customer who was in watching in amazement follows the dog into a house several blocks away, uh, where he walks up, rings the doorbell to be let in. As the owner appears at the door, the customer says, "What a remarkable dog." And the owner says, "Remarkable?" Um, he said, "This is the second time this week he's forgot his keys."
Dun, dun. Okay.
I thought that was pretty cute.
Cute and clean. That's what we're all about here. Cute and clean.
Yeah,
All right, listener feedback. Wow, we got a review.
we did. We had a 5-star review from iTunes. So
Wow.
that's our first iTunes one since October or something, I think. And it said, "Wow." It said, "I like listening to this show. I listen to it here and there. I listen to it everywhere." He must be a Dr. Seuss fan. He said, "P.S. You all should get Sean, Aaron, and Jeremy on from WLS."
We like shooting.
Yeah.
No,
Uh,
I like Sean, Aaron, and Jeremy, but they're not our kind of. Our audience may not be ready for that.
a bit saltier than us.
Salty. Think of the ocean. Okay, so our, our Bible verse for the day will be coming out of Proverbs 20, verse 7. The righteous who walks in his integrity, blessed are his children after him. And so, what I'm reading about here is that when we live a righteous life, what is righteous? Righteous is walking in right step or uh, in a right way with God. And that means that we recognize our sin. When we sin, we ask forgiveness for our sin, we repent of our sin, and we try to do right by reading the scriptures, being in a right relationship with God. And what is the reward of that? Well, the reward of that is that his children are blessed, which means that because if we are obedient and follow God and recognize our sin and are asking forgiveness of our sin and live a righteous life, our children will see us modeling that for them, and they will live a righteous life, and more than likely, uh, you know, some children are more rebellious than others, myself included. But if we do that, if we model that, the proverb here is telling us that our children will be blessed for that. Will they be blessed because they're in our household and we're being living in a way that honors God, and so God will bless us. But they will also uh, be blessed beyond that, because if we train them up right, the way that God instructs us to in the Bible, then they will be blessed, and they'll be a blessing to us in our old age as well. That we're not having to worry about them. So, just a little short verse this week, and the Bible verses for this week. So, off to the main topic. Doug, you want to join anything on that verses? Didn't mean to
Nope, I'm good, man.
jump there. On the main topic, where have we been? Well, we sort of alluded to a little bit of that in our God and Guns section. So you've been more busy at activities. So tell us about these duck hunts you've been doing. What all that entails. You gonna keep on doing it? What,
Oh yeah.
what are your plans? Tell us all about it, Doug.
Well, this year, my buddy Sean and I started Foul Intent Guide Service, and this was our first year. We've been down there hunting, several years, but this year was our first year doing the guided stuff. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. The first part of the season was tough. It was dry, it was hot, and the birds just wasn't there. I mean, we shot local ducks, but after a little while, they're college educated, man. So they're flying from hole to hole. People are shooting at them every time they blow a duck call or something. So they get pretty weary and like call shy. And so finally, here in the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's got cold down there. It rained, filled up the fields. They got water in them. I don't know I don't understand the state of Arkansas. They have been flooding wildlife management area down there. It's their biggest one for duck hunting. It's called Biomeda, and it's right there outside Stuttgart. And every year for years and years, they have flooded it for duck hunters. So those ducks coming down through the flyway come in and they stop in Biomeda in that water and the timber and stuff by the thousands. I mean, thousands of ducks are there. And they didn't even flood Biomeda until December the 15th this year, and they flooded it for 3 days. But luckily, it rained in the meantime when they were doing it, so it filled it up even more than what they had wanted. So it finally had water in it starting about the December 15th, and the ducks started finally showing up. They started coming, and we've been doing really well here in the last few hunts. We have taken a bunch of guys out, man. I'm telling you, some of them are characters, man. We have had so much fun with these guys. I've had doctors, I've had lawyers, what else? Veterinarians, just all kind of people from every walk of life, have come down and hunted with us this year.
Wait,
And
you had veterinarians hunting with you?
I did have a
Don't,
veterinarian.
don't they take an oath that they won't harm any animals?
That way, he didn't hurt the dogs at all. And I told him, I said, well, if one of the dogs get hurt, at least we got somebody here that can take care of them for us. And but he was a real good guy. First time I'd met him. Excuse me. And a part of that junk I got going on. But we have had a blast. And, these guys, they're so funny, man. They're up in the blind. They get cutting up, carrying on. I've only been inside the blind maybe, I don't know, 3 times this year, the entire year. The most time I'm out in front of the blind underneath a big cypress tree tucked up in underneath that. That's where I call from. And I can pretty much see all out in front of the blind and down the slough where it comes in at. And I can see ducks coming. And the guys we had out there the other day, they're like, man, don't you want to come in here and sit down for a minute or two? I'm like, no, I'm good. They're like, well, you've been standing out there all day. I'm like, I'll stand here till the sun goes down too. It don't bother me. I'm having a good time. So we just stay after it. Guys are, I had one of the clients we had out with us. He was a trip. He's a lawyer. And he's a retired prosecutor for a neighboring county down here where I live,
Mhm.
and he did it for man, I think he said 30 some years, and he was just a fun guy to be around. And their last day that they hunted, the other folks that they were hunting with had went home because they didn't know each other, but it was two different hunts booked together hunting, and they had they had went home. So it was just me and Sean and the lawyer and his son, who was
Mhm.
40, 41, 42 years old, in the blind. And he looks over at me. He says, he said, let me tell you something. He said, we've hunted with a bunch of guides over the years. He said, now, I don't know if you know this or not, but most of them are just straight butts. I was like, really? He said, yeah. He said, but man, you guys ain't like that. He said, y'all are fun to hang out with. And he said, this is probably the best guide service and hunt that I've ever been on.
Oh,
I
good
was like,
deal.
well, I appreciate that. So I don't know if we're doing something wrong or if we're doing it right. I hope we're doing it right.
Yeah.
But I have had to tell some folks, man, the
Don't
first
tell.
day, second day, they killed like one or two ducks, but they will not sit down. They won't stand still. The rule of the beast is when when the guide starts blowing a duck call, that means he sees ducks.
Uh huh.
And if I see ducks, that's your cue to get down, be quiet, and
Mm-hmm.
don't look up. You don't look up at the ducks. That's the number one rule. Because
Gotcha.
as soon as you look up in the air at them, they see you. And most people think, they can't see me from way up there, but they can. And I tell them, I'm like, look, you can't look up. You got to stay down. You got to stay back up underneath the overhang on the duck blind. I said, because they see that duck blind every day
Uh
and
huh.
don't think a thing about it. But as soon as they see something in that duck blind that's in one of those windows
Mm-hmm.
and it's moving, they know that ain't right, and they're gone. They'll flare and they're gone. So I might have told this before, but I had a young man in the blind that was 9 years old. That came with his dad. I think both of them had ADHD. And I finally told the little boy on the third day, I was like, look, I said, there ain't nobody killing no ducks because you're sitting in here and you're pointing, you're talking, you're not doing what I asked you. I said, you got to sit down today. And if you don't, I'm going to take this staple gun. And I showed him the staple gun. I said, I'm going to staple you to the bench on the back seat. And I'm not going to take the staples out until we get ready to leave. And you're just going to have to sit there. Okay. All right, Mr. Doug. I'll sit down. He did for about 10 minutes. And every time I get him calmed down, and first thing in the morning, it was so funny. He'd almost go to sleep. He'd be sitting back there and you could see him dozing. And his daddy would hit him and poke him. He was like, hey, wake up, boy. It's almost time to shoot. You better get you a Mountain Dew. And he'd get a Mountain Dew and chug a Mountain Dew, man. ADHD, hyperactivity, the whole 9 yards. He'd suck down a Mountain Dew, and you could almost hear him. It was like a pinball machine, man. You could
Mhm.
hear him inside the blind banging off the walls.
Yeah.
And I
Easy
just I
going.
just rubbed my head, man. I was like, oh my goodness. I said, I don't understand. I just don't understand. And I said, these guys came down here. They want to kill ducks and stuff, but they're not. They don't listen to what you're telling them.
Uh-uh.
So
They only
finally, the
take
last
what the
day, I was like,
teacher does to
here's
them.
your choices, fellas. Y'all can sit in the blind and talk all day if you want to. I don't care. I said, if you want to kill ducks, you got to sit down and be quiet. That's just all there is to it. And the last day, they did a little, and they killed some ducks.
Yeah.
They finally listened up, but just getting people to understand that. You can. It's funny too. You get some people to get in the duck blind with you, and I'll never forget the very first time I went duck hunting down in Arkansas, and I got lessons on how to blow a duck call from probably one of the masters, Butch Rickenbach, who started RNT calls down in Stuttgart, Arkansas. He's given lessons all of his life to kids, adults, and everybody. He had clinics. He'd go anywhere to teach somebody how to blow a duck call. Well, I was fortunate, and he gave me lessons over the phone for 6 months
Wow.
when I was learning to blow a duck call. And so I learned from a good teacher. Well, the very first time I went down to Arkansas with my buddy, we get in the duck blind and we're with this Cajun buddy of mine. He's a buddy of mine now. His name's Roland. He guides. And we got off the boat and stepped into the duck blind. He saw my call hanging around my neck, and he looked at me. He said, all right, here's the rule for today. He said, I'll do all the calling, and you boy just do all the shooting. Okay, no problem. So we're sitting there, and my buddy Rick's like, Duck, blow your duck call. I'm like, I said, he don't want me to blow my duck call. Hey, and I understand why. He's the guide. He don't know if I can blow a duck call or if I can't, and he wants to make sure we kill ducks. So we had called in these ducks with Roland, or he had called them in, and we had shot some. He got in the boat and went and picked them up, and he's hiding the boat back in the timber again. And I look down the river, and there's a big flock of mallards coming. And I'm like, Roland, I said, can I call at these ducks? Because he wasn't ready. And he just kind of looks out and looks down the river and sees them. I mean, they're way out there. And he's like, yeah, man, you go ahead and knock yourself out. Man, I started wailing on that duck call. Next thing you know, these ducks drop in the hole. We bang, bang, bang. We just knocking them down. He gets back in the boat, goes picks them up, comes back, parks the boat. He ain't said a word. He gets back in the duck blind. He sits down next to me. He looks over at me. He goes, "Okay, you can call now." I was like, cool. So I understand what he means because I have had guys in the blind with me this year that blow the duck call, and I ain't gonna call no names, and so I've had a lot of people out here hunting, so they don't know who they are. But I swear it sounded like one of my granddaughters was blowing a kazoo, and
I get these bad, man. You don't have to take no lessons.
Oh yeah, it'll blow itself pretty much.
You just blow it, man. It's designed just to blow on, and just like a gun, man. You just buy a gun, you just shoot it,
and you can shoot it. You don't need to practice.
No lessons. You don't need to practice. It's you just buy whatever you need.
My wife can attest to you that I have hundreds of hours in the house, in the backyard, which is where she usually makes me go do it. In my truck, I blow that duck call on the way to work, on the way home from work, when I got home, in the evenings, all the time I'm blowing that dang duck call, learning, picking up and learning. And the one guy, he tells me, he said, "Hey man," he said, "you got to stop blowing that thing." He said, "You sound terrible." And they always want to drag me into it. They're like, "Doug, do I sound that bad?" I'm like, "No, you don't sound that bad, but you don't sound that good either."
You practice another year, come back.
Yeah, practice a little longer, come back. I said, I do. And I do give lessons at the hotel at night to guys that are staying around where we're at. They'll come over and they're like, "All right, show me how to blow a duck call." So we sit down and we learn how to blow a duck call.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, it's not every guy that'll just sit down with you and teach you how to do it." I was like, "Hey man, if you're coming back next year, I'd prefer that you know how to blow it before you start wailing on it." So, but it's been a lot of fun, man. It really has. My wife asked me the other day.
Oh, freeze up. You still there?
No, not at all.
There you are. I lost you there for a second.
Oh, did you? My wife told me she wanted to know if I'd lost the passion for duck hunting now that I'd started doing it and doing it as a job. And I'm like, no, not at all.
Good.
I'm like, if anything, I'm twice as bad as what I was before, which doesn't seem possible, but it probably is. We we were out there. My days have run together so bad, man, because I can't tell you what day it is now, really. But like 2 weeks ago, we were out there, or a week and a half ago, whenever it was, and it got cold. We got in the boat one morning, and it was 9 degrees outside with a wind chill factor of -1. We got a boat run that takes us to where the blind's at. We have to take a boat down it, and it was froze, and it probably had 2.5 inches of ice on it where it was froze. And I would literally take the boat, and I had 3 or 4 guys in the boat with me that I'm taking out there, and I would throttle the boat, and the boat would raise up on top of that ice and just start coming out of the water. And I'd let off the throttle, and the bow would fall, break the ice, and I could move up a little bit and do the same thing again. I just kept doing that until we got out to the blind, and then Sean and I got in the boat, and we got the ice broke up. We got in there and doing donuts, running around in the hole just to get a hole opened up, where the
Yeah.
ducks could see it. And I bet you at one time we had ice that thick out of the hole because we'd break off these big sheets of ice, and I put the boat in reverse, and we'd back up and catch them because the boat, Sean's boat we were using, has put these two pontoons on the back corners that you can actually step up on the boat and climb in when you're in waders and stuff. And we would catch that ice on them two pontoons just right, and you could push a big sheet of ice and get it going, and push it under the other ice, and get the hole opened up.
Cool.
So, man, it's just we only had one bad experience where I'd brought a group back, and I was going to the blind to pick up everybody else and come back, and halfway back, I'm busting ice coming in, and big chunks of ice are just rolling up underneath the boat and stuff. And I pulled up on the bank where I let everybody out at, and I'm looking back, fiddling with the motor. And one of the guys looks at me and goes, "Where's all this water coming from?" I was like, "Water?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I looked down at the bottom of the boat, man, and we already had about 3 inches of water in the bottom of the boat, and it was coming quick.
Hmm.
I was like, "Man, we're going down." First thing I thought, I was like, "Oh man," I hit one of those big sheets of ice on the side, and it punched a hole in that boat, and we're going to sink. So we pushed it up on the bank as far as we could get it. I mean, it wasn't in probably 3 inches of water, and I put the motor down in the mud so it lifted it back up. So it couldn't get but just so much water. That's as far as it was going to go. So I was like, let me just check. So I'm reaching on the back of the boat, and I told Sean, I said, "Hey," I said, "didn't this thing have a chain on the plug earlier?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Chain's gone." And I'm like, I stuck my finger up in where the plug goes. I'm like, "Plug's gone." So we don't even have a plug either. So a chunk of ice caught that chain just right and ripped the plug and the chain off the back of the boat.
Wow.
And we were going down. So we ran up to the top of the hill where we could get signal. I was going to call uh, my buddy Justin that we leased from, because he's got like 5 or 6 boats sitting around everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to get a plug because we didn't have an extra plug in the boat.
You didn't have a
And
tampon with you? Stick.
huh?
You didn't have a tampon in there to
Well,
plug the hole?
what I actually stuck in there. I put a sandwich bag in it to start
Yeah.
with, and I put a little air in it, and I pushed it in there just to keep it from being wide open.
Yeah.
And but we got to the top of the hill, and these two guys were coming down on a 4-wheeler, going to go check their blind to see if they could get to it because of the ice. And he talked to me for just a second. I said, "Man, I ain't got time to talk for just a second." And I said, "We're fixing to have to run to Stuttgart and get a plug for the boat." I said, "The ice ripped it out of the back of our boat." He goes, "Oh, hang on a minute." He turned and went back up to the camp. Just a minute later, he come back and had a plug. He's like, "What you need?" I was like, "Man," I said, "How much you want for it?" He goes, just bring me another one or bring that one back when you're done." So we got down there. It took about an hour to pump the water out of the boat after we got the
Oh,
plug
wow.
finally put back in there and stuff. But I was a little nervous on that one.
Yeah, I imagine.
But yeah, hey, luckily nobody hurt. Boat didn't sink, and
Lesson learned.
all
Bring
good.
extra plugs.
Uh,
Lesson learned. Bring extra plugs.
yeah, we now have 4 plugs in the boat,
Yeah.
strategically placed all over it, just depending on what goes down first.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You know, you carry a spare plug with you um, when you're on the WMAs and stuff, because I've heard stories of locals. If you get in one of the local guys' spot,
Mm-hmm.
they will come by and pull your plug on your
Cool.
boat, and to teach you a lesson not to get in their spot.
Yeah.
So, but we're on private land, so we don't have to deal with that. But that ice is some vicious stuff, man.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We actually
Wow.
hunted Friday, this past Friday, and we're in the boat going out to the blind, and it was snowing, man. I mean, it was snowing some big flakes. And I hunted last year in a snowstorm like that, and we waylaid duck. It was just a duck beat down.
Mm-hmm.
So I told the guys we were with, I was like, "Y'all ever hunted in snow before?" And they're like, "Uh." I said, "Well, let me tell you." I said, "It's fixing to be on." And sure enough, man, as soon as it was shooting light, land in the hole, I mean, they were just coming from everywhere. And it was a duck beat down again. It was fun, man.
Cool. Sounds like fun. So you got it already set up for next year. You gonna hunt geese and ducks next year, right? Or are you
Yeah,
still?
probably. I probably am. We're gonna lease another blind. Obviously, we're not. I don't think we're going to be in the same blind we're in this year. We're steadily progressing up the ladder of
Uh-huh.
moving to the better holes in on the property. And I was talking to my buddy last night, and it looks like we're going to get a hole we call the Bay Hole. Actually in a little bay that comes off of the river, and
Oh,
them boys that have been in there this year have just been banging away down there, just killing duck after duck after duck. We can watch them from my blind. I can actually watch them work and drop in the hole down there, and I can pretty much call the shot now. I'll tell the guys, I'm like, look, watch these ducks right here. And I'm like, okay, they're going down. I said, wait for it, right about now. And then you boom, 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 boom. You hear them cut loose, start shooting ducks. I get that. I'm supposed to get that blind next year.
that's cool.
So, oh man, it's going to be on if I get that one. It's going to be bad. And I've done pretty good. Me and Winnie was talking about it today. I think we have been out there this past weekend when I hunted Sunday was my 39th day of guiding in Arkansas this year.
Wow.
So out of 70 days, for a guy just taking vacation,
Hmm.
and going out and doing what he can do, that's not too bad. I'm going to wind up. We're going to hunt Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of next weekend, and I'm guiding. I got some guys coming out then, so that'll put me over. That'll put me over 40 days guiding. So that's not too bad.
Yeah. A lot of those are weekends too. So weekend.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I did. I was out there for like. I should just change my residence to Arkansas and be done with it because I feel like I've spent so much
you
time.
got residency out there, do you?
Yeah, I don't know if you can get dual residency. Ella, come here, come here. Ella's in.
Only for
Ella's in here
Democrat.
with me. The
If you're Democrat, you can get triple residency or quadruple.
I know I should be able to get it,
You should be able to
but I think I
vote
was out there
4 or 5
13
states.
days the first time, and I was home a week. Then I was out there 12 days the next trip, and I was home about a week and a half, and I was gone for 12 days the next trip, and it's just my wife's like, "Are you home this weekend? Or are you gone again?" I'm like, "No, I'm home this weekend, but I'm leaving Tuesday." And she's like, "Okay, whatever." She knows I'm having a blast with it, and we're doing really well with it. So,
Good deal. Well, on my side, I've been working out. I've been in the gym now since 1st of November. I was out 1 week when I was in Florida because I couldn't even breathe, and there wasn't any gyms around that I could use. Um, I checked around. Like the closest one was like 40 miles away, one way. So when I was in Orlando, that was uh, affiliated with the gym I'm with, and then when I got back here, I worked out, and then when I was in Florida, the nearest gym was again like 35 miles away, and most of those speed limits were like 35 miles an hour. So it would have taken me an hour to drive up there and an hour back, and I'm like, I'm just gonna miss the workouts that week. But I tell you what, man, I'm enjoying getting back in the gym. I've dropped down uh, 8 notches on my belt, and I've dropped about 9 pounds of weight. But my arms have already gotten about an inch larger, and my waist has gotten a lot smaller. So I'm feeling a lot better, a lot stronger. I'm a lot more steady. I can pick up stuff easier. I pick up the kids and the wife, and it's like uh, nothing now. It used to be where it's getting over. I could hurt my knee.
um,
I'm careful. Now I just pick them up like rag dolls. So getting the squats down. I got my technique down and got the bench press going. The only thing on the bench press is my shoulder. My right shoulder has been I blew it out twice lifting before with a bench and with a straight bar. And I'm afraid I'm gonna max out on that. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to go to dumbbells. It's just too much pressure on that shoulder when I get up to the higher weights. So I'm gonna take it as far as I can until it starts tweaking too much, and then I'm gonna have to do something different. And then deadlifts is going good. I'm going for 300 on deadlifts by the end of the month, and on my squats, going for 200 by the end of the month. And so uh, I'll be pretty good for a 51-year-old guy that's been out with four blown disc, a
Yeah.
blown shoulder, uh, L2 that's all screwed up. But I'm progressing good. I'm trying to keep my technique perfect as I can, and don't have anybody. I mean, I've got the kids that go with me from time to time to the gym, but don't really have a workout partner uh, to do the same workouts at the same level or anything like that. So I've just I gotta be careful and not overload, not hurt myself. I have a tendency to push myself too far until I destroy something or tear something up. So I have to be careful of that failure of mine to limit myself to not tearing something up. So I've been doing that. Church has really kept me busy, and family's really kept me busy. So that's what I've been, busy with. Just again, you guys heard earlier, I just took my parents down and helped them get going in Florida, and they're all feeling much better and looking much better, and their health is much better. So that's good. And we're snowed in here. It started snowing. Well, it snowed like last Friday, Saturday. Well, it was an ice storm more than anything. I got in from Florida just in time to get iced in. That melted and got to church, and then it started snowing. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday sometime. Snowed all night last night and half the day today. And so it's 4 degrees outside right now and about 4 inches of snow.
Woo.
So they just told us church is off for tomorrow. So I've got another few days to work on the radios before we need them for Sunday. Working on our mission project this summer. Going to be back in Wyoming, back at the same church, but different type of project, and trying to get everything together for that and set the final dates. We're going to be there. Looks like we're going to be there in June. So after get done with that, I'm going to probably swing down if I can. I was going to see Paul and Jared and let's do the gun crew. But if our schedule moves like it is, I may have to head on back because we have a youth trip that will be on the tail end of the mission trip. So I may have to go out a week earlier, like the very first of June, if I want to see the Markles and do that before the mission trip, and then head back for the youth trip. And then right after the youth trip, my oldest son Tim is supposed to be getting married on June 23rd, and then we've got right after that we've got 4th of July. We're gonna have a 4th of July party here, and then we're gonna have. So our whole summers are gonna be scheduled probably by the end of next week. We're not gonna have one day. I don't even remember when the NRA is. It's probably in May, isn't it? So it's probably gonna be NRA in Dallas, and then straight to Wyoming, and then straight from Wyoming to Myrtle Beach, and then from Myrtle Beach to here for a wedding. And then from here, we've got Bible school, and after Bible school, we've got something else going on. Center Kid. I think Chris will be going to that. So we're gonna have again like a 2 week summer. There's the
Yeah.
time we're gonna be on the road. I want to go back to Montana this year, um, and go up to Glacier and all that. Visit our friends up there in the northwest corner of Montana, over in Idaho, and but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit it in with everything else going on this summer so far. So as usual, busy as crazy. We're gonna have some guests coming up. I've been promising that, but we've had several people I've been talking to over the break or this last month or so that are going to be coming on, and we're going to be introducing and talking about. We've got some new Patreon people, so things that you can do help out the show. Patreon, of course, there's several listeners. We opened a Patreon account, and we were surprised and just floored by the amount of support you guys have given. Top contributors are Tim Kim, John Odlin and Doug Schultz. By Doug and Steve Stone. Steve's been having us. Where are you guys at when you gonna have another show?
I know, right?
Hey, Steve, we had another show. Steve, Shannon Copeland, and we just had a new one just as we were doing the show here tonight. I just got a message that we have a new uh, Patreon, like right at this moment, that is in the like top tied for like third, Michael Sheldon. So very cool. We appreciate that support. Um, Other ways you can help out the show is joining the NRA. If you're not an NRA member, please join using our link, and they'll send us love. Devore is a clearinghouse for optics plant. They have all kinds of cool stuff, and I try to buy a lot of things there because it's so much cheaper. And they just from time to time have great deals. Use that link, and they'll send us a little bit of love. Laser activated shot reporter, GANDG. If you use that code, you get 10% discount. If you don't know what laser activated shot reporter is, go to lasrapp.com, and there's videos explaining exactly how you use that. It's a great product, especially when it's 4 degrees outside and 4 inches of snow on the ground. You can practice your dry fire in the house in the warmth of your home.
Yeah.
Hoplite armor. If you need body armor, you need soft armors, you need plate carriers, you need any of that stuff. Hoplite armor, we're affiliate. If you use our link, that will send us a little bit of love. Zija, Guiding Guns team. If you go to guidingguns.myzija.com, you can find out about my testimony, and you can find out what Zija is a health products, and it is also a business opportunity. So if you're looking for something to create a second form of income for your family, there's an opportunity there, and you can talk to me about that if you're interested. I've been drinking these. Oh, there's all kinds of. I used to have a little box of stuff here. I don't know what I had to. Rip sticks. There's pre-workout packs. There's while you're working out packs. There's after workout packs, and I tell you that after workout, um, uh, powder mix. You throw it in the water, and it takes away the DOMs. I tell you, I don't have as when I do those, I don't have DOMs. Delayed onset muscle soreness the next day or the day after. It really takes that away. Helps me get my energy back faster. I'm not so fatigued. So whatever's in there is working for me. I really like that. And then that mix that I use during the workout. Uh, my workouts are usually about an hour and a half to 2 hours of weightlifting and about 30 minutes of cardio. And so it really gives me a lot of energy and helps me keep hydrated while I'm using that. So enough of the Egypt. You got the rest. Go ahead, Doug.
Crossbreed holsters. Like we said, if you're carrying a gun on your person, in your car, or have it next to your bed, Crossbreed makes a holster for you. Check those guys out. They make Troy and I both carry the Super Tuck Deluxe
Yep.
in our Glocks, and I also have one for a Glock 21. I have one for a 1911. They got one for any kind of gun that you can possibly carry. Um, the most comfortable holster you will ever have. I wear it every time I go out to Arkansas, go out west. I'm in the truck for 10, 11 hours. I wear this thing. Never even think about having it on because it is so comfortable. If you haven't tried one, you're missing out. Go check these guys out. Crossbreedholsters.com. Carry the cross. Um, Also, Axelson Tactical. Axelson, we've been helping Jeff out with the foundation for several years now, helping promote the Matthew Axelson Foundation.
Mhm.
And they started building precision AR rifles. They do custom pistols, knives. They have all kinds of things that they do. High quality, high end precision guns. And Troy and I both have an Axelson rifle. And I tell you, they are tack drivers. You
Yeah.
will not find a more accurate gun. You need to go check those guys out. Find one that you like and order that thing up and use the promo code God and Guns, and Jeff will give you 10% off on your purchase just because you used our promo code. So you can't go wrong with that.
Nope. We're also an Antares Alliance Life member. If you would like to know more about Antares Alliance, there's a link in our show notes, or you can go and find out more about Antares Alliance and the affiliated companies with them. All right, an RE Armed Citizen, Doug, what do you got for us?
Tonight I got a gun-toting customer stops attack at a South Carolina dealership. Reports say this comes to us from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Um, a pair of legally armed customers at a car dealership stopped an attack in which a man threatened to kill employees by smashing vehicles with a pipe wrench, according to the Associated Press and a report in the state newspaper. Aaron Hayes, 16th Circuit Assistant Solicitor, said Alonzo Seegers was unhappy with the service at the car dealership in Fort Mill and armed himself with a pipe wrench. The state reported that Seegers threatened to kill a female employee and smashed three vehicles with the wrench on December 21st before two customers with concealed carry permits intervened and held him at gunpoint until deputies arrived. York County deputies used a stun gun and then tackled Seeger, who suffered a broken leg, the report says. The report says Seeger was in court Friday for a bond hearing. Seeger was not taken to jail, but hospitalized for physical and mental health reasons. He was served warrants January 2nd on charges of attempted murder, assault and battery, and breach of peace in an aggravated nature. An employee testified at Seeger's bond hearing that the suspect had previously threatened people at the dealership on December 21st, backed him into a corner with a pipe wrench before a profanity laced triad of death threats and smashing cars. The state reported Seegers is being held on bond set at $25,000.
Wow. You ever know when somebody's going to flip a lid and go crazy on you?
Uh,
All right. You got anything else, Doug?
that's about it, man.
I got any
I was
viewers
going,
out there? Any questions?
huh?
Nobody's commenting over in the live chat. I was looking to see if we had any questions over here on the live.
No, everybody's being quiet tonight. They're just listening. I guess they're in awe that we're actually back on recording.
They don't believe it. They're lying. They're not really back.
Hey, I was gonna tell you one more thing about the duck hunting trip.
Yeah.
My newest son-in-law made it out to hunt with me. First time he'd been duck hunting, and he got back and he got him a new pair of waders. He got it all, man. So he was out there, and he was in a duck blind. I told him, I said, "Hey, man," I said, "you ain't gonna be a real duck hunter until you climb out of that duck blind and come down here in the water with me, and you stand out here." So he finally did. He stood out there long enough to get a couple of photo ops in, and he got his cousin to take his picture. He's like, "I'm going back in the blind, man. I don't know how you do this. It's cold." And we had killed a bunch of ducks, and I had to go across the hole and across this ditch wading several times. He come back. He told my wife, Wendy's like, "Oh, you just like to go out there and just hunt," and he's like, "Oh no, he is working it." He said, "Because if you had to go across that mud one time, you would regret having to do it again the second time." And she said, and he told her, he said, "I bet he made 15 trips across there and never complained one time." I did complain once. I told him, I said, 'cause they were shooting them and dropping them in the hole behind. They were shooting. They were getting out of the hole instead of shooting them when they were right there.
Mm-hmm.
I finally came back after one trip. I'm like, "All right, boys, y'all shoot them in this hole right here and drop them here instead of killing them way back there. I'm getting tired of going and getting them." It was iced over, and I couldn't. I could. It was iced over, and I couldn't let Ella get out there and go across there because I didn't want her to fall through the ice or get cut.
Yeah.
So I had to be bird dog for about 4 days in a row, man. It got old quick. I started giving her more treats every time she'd go get a duck.
That's cool. All right. You can send your feedback to Troy at GunGunsPodcast.com, or
Doug at GodandGunsPodcast.com.
please tell your friends about us. Leave us an iTunes review and like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/GuidingGunsPodcast. Subscribe and follow us on YouTube. And there's a link in here for our YouTube channel. It's like 7,000 characters long. I'm not going to spell it out for you. You can follow us on Twitter at Guiding Guns Pod, POD. You can search for us on Instagram. We try to post stuff on Instagram a regular basis, and you can search for us on MeWe. I've gotten a lot of requests over on MeWe lately, so I don't know what's going on over there. I haven't been doing any trading lately. Uh, Website is guyagainstpodcast.com, which is sporadic and not really reliable still. Have a blessed. So until next time, Doug, have a blessed week.
And keep your guns close, but keep your Bible closer.
All right. Good night, guys. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
If you're just now joining in, you'll be able to watch it in probably 15 minutes or so when we get done here. Later.